Hi everyone, it's John Dugan here. For all you that don't know who I am, that's my name, and I am from Hazelmere. I was actually born in Hillingdon Hospital in '82, and then moved to Hazelmere around '84 when I was 2 years old. So tonight I thought I'd share a little story about my near-death experience with a couple of very good friends of mine. So I was around 92, 93. I was typical, I was about 11, 10 years old, typical young lad, always getting in trouble, playing with fires, etc., etc. Knock and runs, garden hopping. Um, got the woods behind our house, so you can imagine, like, we had great fun behind there. So I was about 11 years old, and I was with my best mates, Robert Church and Ollie Bates. Hi Robert, hi Ollie. And we were around Roberts. We were in his garage. He has a single driveway, but it's a shared driveway. You've got two garages up the top. So the one on the right hand side was Roberts, and the one on the left hand side was a bloke called David. He lived there with his wife, and Robert lived there with his mum and his dad. So we were in Robert's garage, and there was this 3 litre can of paint thinner, and it was an old style can, so you had to pierce the top of it with a screwdriver to be able to get the liquid out. So we pierced it with a screwdriver, made like a littleish hole, and then we were squirting our names on the floor and then lighting it. And then obviously it would come up in flames with our names, and we'd all be like, yeah, like, this is great, this is great. And we started doing swear words, but every time we sprayed this on the floor and lit it, we'd then put it out with water, and then we'd sweep it out the garage onto the driveway floor. So the driveway had a slight slant to it, so obviously all this water and paint thinner would just go down the driveway. There was the next door neighbour's car was on the driveway, and we kept lighting it, kept lighting it, kept doing it, kept sweeping it, and literally the whole driveway was just covered in liquid. And so then we've gone to go and light our name. Well, I can't remember what we've written, but we've written something. We've gone to light it. It lit, and then all of a sudden, it was like the whole of the garage floor was on fire, like all around us. And then we slowly watched the fire going towards the paint thinner can. And I'll never forget the noise. It was like a pinging noise, ding, ding, ding. And me and Ollie Bates were literally stood next to this paint thinner can. And Robert Church, God bless him, if it wasn't for Robert, I don't think me and Ollie would be here now, I'm going to be honest with you. Robert has grabbed the paint thinner can as it's expanding. He's ran out of the garage and he's thrown it down the driveway. It's hit the floor, slid under the next door neighbour's car, and exploded. The fire then went all round Robert, and me and Ollie were in the garage still, but there was like a side door on the garage, so you could jump out of the garage and then run into his back garden. We ran out of there straight away because we panicked. Then we were like, no, Robert's still there, Robert's still there. So we've gone back to go and see if we can get Robert Church. He's like, we couldn't see him. All we could see was fire over our heads, all around us, and we were like, oh my god! Well, literally, I thought the guy had gone. I thought he was dead. And then all of a sudden, like Batman, Churchy come jumping out the flames, and big relief, you can imagine. Like my best mate wasn't dead. The neighbour on the right hand side ran out with a fire extinguisher about the size, about this big, it was tiny, and he ran up to the fire. The whole place of fire, and it's gone like that. Nothing's come out, and like literally, the neighbour who owned the car has jumped into his car while it's on fire, and reversed it out the driveway, and ran over Ollie's bike. And I remember Ollie was really upset because his bike was run over. I remember the police turned up, ambulances turned up, and fire engines. And obviously they put the fire out. And the neighbour David, who had it was his car that we'd set light to. The police went up to him straight away, and they said, "We could do something to these young kids. We could get them in trouble for what they've done. Like, just tell us, and we'll take them to the police station." And God bless David. He was Christian, and he said, "No, I don't want these kids to be in trouble because I can replace my car, but we can't replace these children. Um, so yeah, that was one of my death experiences that I had when I was quite young. I'm going to tell you about the second one, which was a bit crazy as well because I was born in Hillingdon Hospital, and around 20 years later, so it was about 2002, 2001 ish, let's say. I was working for a company called RGP, and we used to deliver hospital equipment all around the country. Like literally, it was all DNA testers, centrifuges, which is like blood cell splitters and stuff, all kinds of crazy equipment. I've been to every single hospital in this country in the space of 5 years. So anyway, we were at Hillingdon, and the building that we had to go to was having a lot of work done. It was just very tall, had a big good lifts there. So we went into the goods lift, and we had it was about 20 boxes, 30 boxes of this. Looks like a machine cleaner, because obviously these machines have blood going through them, all kinds of stuff go through them. They need proper good cleaner to go through it, to put the next lot of stuff through it. So we were at Hillingdon. We got into this goods lift. We've got a big heavy load, and we're going up. We've got to go up to like the 5th floor to the pathology hematology area. So we're in the lift. We start going up. We get about 3 floors up, I'd say, maybe 4. And then all of a sudden, I remember hearing this almighty it was like a snap bang sound. And then I almost felt like my feet started to come off the floor, like ever so slightly, like I was like sort of going up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It was really, really weird, really weird. And then there was this almighty screech, and then it was just like a, and then we stopped, and we were like, "What's going on?" And there was a builder in the lift with us because the place was being renovated at the time. So I was with a guy called Steve Williams when this happened. And basically what's happened is Steve and me were stood there, and we've obviously picked up the phone to talk to the lift people. The lift people have said, they've said, oh, that's strange. Oh, okay, we'll have to send someone out to try and get it started again and see if we can get you up. It's like, no problem. And anyway, this builder's looked at us and he was like, oh, he goes, what's in the boxes, lads? And we were like, oh, it's radioactive stuff. And this builder, like literally, you could see in his face, started panicking. And we were like, mate, we were joking. Probably a good thing he didn't have a massive panic attack. We were doing stuck in a lift with him. But so anyway, yeah. So we sat in their lift for like, it must have been about 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the top of the lift opened up, and the guy said, "You have to climb up here, lads." So a couple of blokes had come down, pulled us up through this hole. Me and Steve were like, "We've got jobs to do after it. We need to take the pallet truck." So we had to lift the pallet truck out of the top of the lift, and then we had to climb up a ladder and then go out the lift doors. So literally climb up an elevator shaft. When we got out of the lift, we turned around to the engineer and we said, "Oh, excuse me, mate." We said, "What's that all about? What happened?" He said, I'm going to be honest with you guys." He said, "This lift is very, very old, and we're replacing it like literally next week." He said, "One of the reasons we've got to replace it is because it's so old. It would fail health and safety." And they said, we're quite surprised that the emergency brakes come on." And we said, "What do you mean the emergency brakes?" He said, "The lift cable snapped." So basically, I was in a lift, and the lift cable snapped, and I fell. And like I said, I felt that. I could feel myself lifting off the floor. That's 2 times. One when I was like about 11, and one was when I was around 20ish. That I've died. There are other times. I've had a few near misses. But anyway, so there you go. It's only really a short podcast. Just a couple of quick stories. Just want to say thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you can like and subscribe and share, and if you can get anyone else to join my channel, I'd really appreciate it. And also I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone out there that has been helping me, that has been giving me nice messages, that has been talking to me, checking up on me. Like, all you people, you don't understand how much I appreciate you. Don't ever forget it. And all you people out there that help me, I'm always there for you guys. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. I should be coming out with a podcast with, no, sorry, I will be coming out with a podcast on with Luke Herdman. He is an ex-doorman, fighter, been in loads of trouble. He's got some proper good stories. He's going to tell us his life story at prison, and then finding God and like sorting himself out. It's like a really positive story. Like the guy is, you know, and he's a proper nice guy as well. Like, I've never met him in my life. I only met him through Facebook because of Kev Summer, and literally I've spoken to him a few times, and he's an absolute legend. Anyway, people, I'm going to go now. I hope you lot all have a good evening, and I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.